past.
When?
I remember you wearing a top hat to a party once.
I never wore a top hat to a party. Right, now bear in mind this is a little bit crumpled now, okay? And obviously, you know, I know this is not kind of visually, it's a bit visual for the radio, but I'm thinking people, this is all the more reasons to check out the webcam.
Yeah.
You can presumably go on the
Keep it on
website.
for 10 minutes and they should get a shot.
They should get a shot of it and maybe we can take it. But here it is, right?
Oh, God.
No, you're laughing.
Yeah, you look like Monsieur Hulot.
Well, I thought I looked like Tom Waits. But I think I look like a farmer.
Yeah.
Don't I?
I look much closer to Tom.
Or you look
I
like
think I look pretty good. How would you describe that hat?
it's almost a little pork pie, a little Doherty leaving magistrate's court hat.
Yeah.
Except the brim is just very, very narrow.
Yeah.
So you look a little bit like a child in an American high school dressed as a root vegetable.
What kind of analogy is
Exactly
that?
what I thought as well.
It looks like the hat that it looks like the hat that Ronnie Barker used to wear when they were both farmers and they were leaning on the stile.
I can't believe you think this. I genuinely think I look good in this hat.
I mean, Steve,
really.
seriously, my mum is a woman who does not suit hats. That's globally recognised, but you do not suit that hat.
Are you talking nonsense? Are you talking out of your northern arse? I think I look amazing in this hat.
You look like
Really
Henry
don't.
Fonda in On Golden Pond.
Yeah.
One of the most beloved of Hollywood stars, and you know his last film. Why mention it? You know, it's tragic. We lost him after that movie, but I think you'll find he won an Oscar. He won an Oscar in that film. So,
It's also quite tight. It looks a bit like a swimming cap.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think this is. Are we honestly saying I don't look good in this hat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you? This is nonsense. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
You need a bigger hat. That's
What are you talking about? You don't wear a bigger. This is very much the Vogue.
The brim is too small because
It's
you've
not.
got a big because you're a big man. You need a big brim.
I disagree. I think you mentioned Doherty. I think I look like the sort of like a kind of trendy drugs counsellor that might be chaperoning him to his latest court case. You know, I just
What's that
got
bit
that.
over your left ear where it's sort of folded up, but it's not on the other side.
Yeah, but that's because it's been in suitcases and stuff, hasn't it? It's been crumpled up. But I'm saying, you know, this admittedly, you know, I spent £4 on this hat. But if I bought a more expensive one, do you think I could make it work?
No.
What are you talking about? I'm absolutely dumbfounded.
No.
absurd.
No.
So this is you're unequivocally saying 5 of you are saying I shouldn't wear this hat.
Bad
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Absolutely,
disagree.
yes.
I'm going to keep this hat on. Check out the webcast. How do people check that out, Jude?
Go to the website and click on your face.
Okay, perfect. And so I want to get email in. What do you think of this hat? Because I'm thinking seriously of becoming a hat wearer. One of those guys you see in the street, you think, oh, knob, right? And it's going to be me and me wearing a hat. All right, 6. What's the text and email? Harry, you know it, don't you?
Yeah, it's on there. You go to just bbc.co.uk. They've changed the website recently.
Have
But
they?
you go to the radio bit, 6 Music, then go to the shows currently on there, and you can see the webcam. And yeah, you've got 2 different angles of you looking really stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can give. I don't think I'm getting full. Let me just check that out. Bear with me.
That's from behind.
From behind. Do you know what I look like?
You look like Cruise.
I look like Farmer Barlomo from Bod.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, what's the text? 64666 something like that.
64046.
Yeah. So what? The Duke Spirit, My Sunken Treasure on the Steve Show, BBC Six Music. Spirit will be in session for us on Sunday the 8th of June, so look forward to that. We'll have Sammy's musical choice after this tray. Steve Show, and it is Sammy's musical choice first up this week. And Sammy, what have you chosen for I?
I've chosen a song by School of Language, who were actually on Mark Riley's show on Wednesday, which was the 14th, and I've done it as a kind of act of race relations. They're from Sunderland and I'm from Newcastle. I've been brought up to hate everyone from Sunderland and everything about Sunderland, but this September I'm actually going to study at their university.
Ooh.
No, so I'm going to have to cross that boundary. So I'm learning to love Sunderland and things about them, and that involved learning to love this band. Well, not learning to love them, they're great. So I thought I'd play this, get on side with them,
Sure.
get the people from Sunderland on side, and everything will be alright. So this is Disappointment 99, School of Language.
Thank you. That's Sammy's musical choice on this week's Steve Show. What was it, Sammy?
That was School of Language with Disappointment 99 off this year's album See From Shore.
Thank you very much indeed. I need to squeeze in one more tune before the news. Back in the fall of 2006, the Killers heard a demo that captivated them so much they booked the unsigned band to support them on their American arena tour. This band was the Red Romance, the first unsigned band to play Madison Square Gardens. And here's a single from them, Kinda Feel Right, which is out on the 26th of May. Has that happened yet, the 26th of May? Where are we now? I'm lost.
That's
I've been
not
away.
happened yet.
Has it not happened
that's
yet?
not
So it's going to be available soon. Out on the 26th of May, that's The Red Romance and Kinda Feel Right. Steve Show, BBC 6 Music, back after the news with James King, live from the Cannes Film Festival. Plus, I'm sure we'll get some important and much-needed feedback on the hat.
On digital.
From 1983, David Bowie, of course, and Modern Love. And Harry was just informing, I'm very much out of the loop, but you're telling me that there's a forthcoming David Bowie musical in the style of We Will Rock You.
Yeah, along the lines of We Will Rock You, the Take That one and the Queen one and the ABBA one and all that. Yeah, so it's called The Money Fell to Earth. It's going to be all Bowie's songs. You can go dressed up, go with all your friends on a lovely night out after work.
That sounds fantastic. I wish I could get shares in that. Oh, they're a money earner, aren't they? Isn't Robert De Niro? He's got a piece of We Will Rock You. Really? De Niro, yeah, he's one of the investors in We Will Rock You. Bizarrely. And I remember seeing that when it was first opened, and Ben Elton obviously turned up to De Niro, and they said, what's your favourite Queen song? I haven't got one. He's not the most chatty person on the red carpet, but yeah, I'd love to get some shares in that. It'd be fantastic. I've taken to wearing a hat since being away on holiday. Dan, describe it for the listener.
Oh my goodness. It clings rather closely to your hair.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a hat. It needs to stay on.
Where are we at? A very sort of dark greyish green. A bit of it's folded up over your left ear.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's got a name.
What kind of style is it?
I'd have to refer to Rufus.
Don't you think it makes me look a little bit modish? Maybe a little bit like a nutty boy? Yes, it does.
Essentially, the shape of the hat wants to be that, but the brim seems to have kind of shrunk in the wash, on a hot wash.
Yes.
And is now reduced to that. It's only sticking a quarter of an inch out for the whole way around your head.
Why is that a bad thing? That's obviously the vogue.
It looks a bit like
what's happening in Hatland.
Do you know, it's like you've taken a damp dishcloth to cool down in the hot weather. But slightly large damp dishcloth, so there's a bit of air underneath it.
That's what the hat looks like.
Yeah,
look at the fabric. It's kind of wicker.
I'm also thinking you look a little bit like a miniature man who lives in a wood with an acorn on his head that's grown to an enormous size, but the acorn's grown with it.
But surely that would be fantastic. Like a borrower.
You do look
one of the borrowers.
You look like an enormous borrower who's grown slightly at a larger rate than his hat, and his hat's not quite caught up with him.
That's such a specific analogy. It's fantastic. I'm always a fan of sentences that have not been uttered, I think, any time in the world, and that's what I think it is. A man whose hat has not grown at the speed that he has.
The texts and the emails have gone...
Have they got a place? I've asked people to check out the hat on the webcam, because I genuinely, and I'm not just saying this for comic effect, I genuinely think I look good in a hat, and I'm thinking of seriously becoming one of those guys who wears a hat. But it's his thing. Initially,
there was a lot of negativity about the hat, perhaps picking up from the vibes in the studio. People have been saying what you look like wearing the hat. We've got Chris Evans.
Wow.
Inspector Gadget. A pillock.
Inspector Gadget.
A pillock from an anonymous texter.
Hey, go new music.
An art student who doesn't know where they are.
That's almost existential.
Stuart and Louise, Paul, Mehmet, they all say you look stupid. But there have been some yeses. Hannah, Philip, who says it's a nice hat, but it could be a bit bigger. People are generally saying you've got the wrong shaped head to wear a hat.
I don't know what kind of shaped head I need to have a hat.
Well, it's a tricky one, isn't it? And Louisa is so obsessed with your hat, she's actually emailed 6 times to say that it's fantastic and she loves it.
Who wears a hat well? Who should I be sort of looking to as
Robin Hood?
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah. Those were the days when you could wear a hat without irony. See, now my fear is that everyone who wears a hat, either you do look like a bit of a knob, but surely if you've been on telly, doesn't that give you sort of carte blanche to then start wearing eccentric clothes and using headwear? Doesn't it? You get a sort of celebrity get out of jail free card.
I think the problem is that in these days of terrible street violence, you don't want to do anything that will mark you out as a hit. And I think that hat, you've already got the height. You don't need to add to it with a hat.
That's true. Particularly if you wear a stovepipe hat or look like Isambard Kingdom Brunel, you're going to look ridiculous.
A couple of oiks with a catapult, stolen my hat,
knocking
knocking it off.
Exactly.
All I say is I shake my fist and I scarper.
I believe that's how street crime works these days.
Okay, so listen, it's all about music. It's not about hats. This show. And Dan, it's your musical choice.
It is. Erykah Badu. I don't know if you remember her, Steve.
Of course.
10 years ago, she had a medium-sized hit with On and On, and she was a bit of a crossover, but she's carried on putting out fabulous new music in the years since then, even though she's faded off the radar a bit. But she's got a new album out called New America. Do you get it? America. And this is the first track from it. It's produced by Roy Ayers, and it's surprisingly angry and funky.
What's it called?
It's called American Promise.
That's Tiny Dan's musical choice on this week's Steve Show. And Dan, remind us what it was.
Erykah Badu and American Promise from the new album, New America.
Thank you very much.
What's your favorite programs?
From Sam Sparrow's debut album, that is Sam Sparrow, as it is a clear Prince rip-off. Nothing wrong with that. You remember the early days of the Steve Show, guys?
Yeah.
Remember the,
Oh, they were good, weren't they?
Great days. Do you remember how one of the raison d'etres of the show was that not only did you guys introduce me to music, but also the listeners?
That's what the show's all about.
That was what the show was all
That was our
about.
earlier work.
Yeah, that was the key to this programme. Do you remember how over time we let that slip? There were a number of mediocre callers that just lowered the tone of the show, slightly ruined it, and we sort of let that slide, and I've always felt bad about that. Obviously other things have happened in the meantime. I've started pressing the buttons. That was a big overhaul of the show. People really got excited about that. We've had some live music, we've had some live guests, but all new in 2008, we're bringing back what we used to have in 2007 and having listener contributions.
Quite right too.
We are pretending that we care what the listener thinks, and that's what Six Music's all about. No, we do genuinely, because if you remember, we've introduced to some great stuff, some great artists in the past, and so we have a caller, and this is the first time for months and months, isn't it? What,
Yeah.
6 months, something like that? But it's great to speak to Phil. Phil, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, mate. All right. How are you?
I'm splendid, thank you.
Are you quite intimidated by the fact that you're the first caller for a while? No. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Quite
no,
arrogant.
Me no.
Thinking you're quite the gentleman. And would you consider yourself to be a guy who's got good musical taste?
I try.
Everyone, I suppose, does, doesn't they? Everyone thinks that they've got good taste. You're not in agreement with that? Wow, Phil's
I
quite...
don't necessarily trust my own judgment. I like some real rubbish.
Really? What what sort of tat are you a big fan of?
Oh, that Sam Sparrow track, for instance. All manner of different stuff. I mean, you'll catch me listening to all manner of things.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
What's your biggest guilty pleasure?
Roxette.
Roxette! Roxette! That's extraordinary.
A little bit of Scando pop.
A bit Scando pop. Is that what it's called? That sounds like isn't that what Gary Glitter put out? Scando pop. New from Jonathan King, Scando pop.
Stephen Merchant.
Not even that. Oh, listen now, you're not even allowed to mention Jonathan King's name now on the
Doesn't
radio.
exist anymore.
He doesn't exist. We've written out of history.
Do you like Aqua, Phil?
They've had their moments. I quite liked, I think her name was Lena from it. Yeah, she was quite nice, and there was the big ball bouncy look.
Okay.
You know who I work with a well-known gentleman. I'm not going to mention his name, but guess what? One of his favourite artists is, you often catch him listening to Hadaway. Absolutely obsessed with Hadaway.
They don't hurt me.
No more.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got Phil. We know that he loves Roxette. And Phil, have you had a chance? I don't suppose you've had a chance to quickly check out the hat on the webcam. Oh, listen to that tone of voice. Phil, what's your judgment?
Then I grew up liking Secret Squirrel. It was a good cartoon.
Hey, I take that as a pleasure. I mean, he was like a superhero.
Well, you like a superhero.
What's your genuine assessment? Are you do you not feel it's working at all?
I think you should just do whatever makes you happy.
Thank you very much.
Forget about the buffoons you're surrounded by.
Thank you. That is a very, very good answer. Phil, are you the sort of guy who would wear a hat, perhaps in the
I
summertime?
have been known to wear a hat, yeah, but never backwards.
What kind of hat would you go for? Perhaps a sombrero?
Yeah, I like a Russian husky hat.
Good. What, in the summer? Nice. Mixing it up, keeping it a bit rock and roll.
Yeah.
What's your musical choice for us, Phil?
It's a song called Lovely Alan by a band called Holy F.
Ooh, clean it up.
I can't say the full name, but it's a great track, and I hope you like it.
Thank you very much indeed. We will hear it. We'll talk to you again shortly.
See ya.
Stay there. That's the choice of Phil, one of our listeners here on 6